The following is a 95.1, 94.9 The Oasis presentation.
We love all cars, but we have a particular passion for the rare, high-performance, and collector cars. The monthly Motorsports Gathering is a reflection of that. This is the Scottsdale Motorsports Gathering.
Well, good morning. We're here at the monthly Scottsdale Motorsports Gathering with Drew Alcazar, who is the CEO of the Russo Steele Auction Company. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, Peter. Great to be here with everyone. Welcome again to another wonderful edition of Motorsports Gathering. This has to be your the top of the heap show for the year, isn't it? Is this your biggest attendance in history?
This certainly looks like it. There aren't. I'm looking around, and there aren't too many vacant spots at all. So yeah, this is a pretty big one. I would say we have probably 700 odd cars here today.
Well, pretty impressive. The Scuderia Southwest, the rabid car enthusiast locally here in Scottsdale that started this show. How many years ago was it now?
The show started 16 years ago. I believe it was 16 years ago, and just a handful of guys getting together for coffee in the morning so that we could lie about how fast we drive our cars and what they're worth, and it just morphed into this over the years.
Well, an impressive evolution. I'm sure everyone out there is enjoying the day, and I guess that this is Scottsdale in prime time. What great weather we're having here. Let's make sure this makes it through to the auctions. What do you say?
I say definitely let's make sure that the auctions have the same weather, and let's hope that the people up north who are suffering in the snow see how beautiful it is down here and maybe make the journey. Drew, I have some questions for you. First of all, how did you personally get involved in the car scene?
Well, it's funny. People ask me about Russo and Steele all the time, and it's genuinely just an extension of Josephine, my wife, and I's enthusiasm for the cars. We'd be doing crazy old car stuff no matter what. We road rally the cars, vintage race quite a bit. Always good doing car shows everywhere. I've got our own little collection that we are herd that we run. So really the auction for us is just an extension sort of our enjoyment of the cars and the people that are associated with them. I can't believe, though, this is our 18th year in Scottsdale. So
well,
18
congratulations.
Years ago.
I know you're very involved with cars. I know that you have a 1960s era Mustang right in your living room. Not many of us can claim that. What other cars do you have personally?
Well, the Boss 429 sitting in the living room is sort of a bit of the lore that goes along with it. People come up and say, "Hey, Drew, wow, you're really cool for having a car parked in your living room." And I say, "Nope, my wife is cool for letting me do it."
That's true.
So, yeah, we've got, actually, when Josephine and I got married, we still have the very first Ferrari that we bought together. We've got a number of Ferraris in the collection now. We were fortunate enough in 2012 to show our 250 Cabriolet at Pebble Beach. So that was a wonderful bucket list moment there doing that. We also do a lot of vintage racing. I've got a GT350 Shelby and a Boss 302 historic Trans Am car that we race. So there's about 25, 30 cars in the collection that are just kind of our personal cars. It's always funny. I have our cars out and people are like, is this going to be in the auction? And I go, no, not all cars are for sale. So they're fun stories. Some of them have close personal touches with Josephine and I. So we enjoy them very much.
Well, there's a lot of us out there that really envy you and your lifestyle. But I have some more questions. Tell me, what are the advantages of selling a car at auction rather than selling it privately?
That's a great question, Peter. A lot of people say, well, why would I sell a car at a collector car auction versus an ad in one of the trade publications or online or something like that? And I think one of the biggest advantages, particularly in environments like Scottsdale coming up here in a couple weeks, is that you have the world marketplace literally coming to your doorstep. Rather than having people wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning asking if your Boss 302 has an automatic transmission in it. By the way, Boss 302's never had an automatic transmission in it. But anyway, with those crazy questions or coming over and wasting your entire afternoon on a Saturday kicking tires in your driveway, taking your car for a joyride, you can bring the car to an auction, get it consigned. The auction house, Russo and Steele spending upwards of 6 figures in terms of their marketing campaigns just here locally. Our budget globally for just the Scottsdale show alone is almost $1 million in our marketing efforts.
Wow.
So you're bringing all of that horsepower to bear to bring people. We're going to be doing almost 800 cars in 4 days at Salt River Fields coming up. So when you have that many cars in one place, really it's the convenience for your buyers, and you have that global buyer market. And truthfully, I can look my sellers right in their eye when we're sitting there on the auction block and go, look, this is what the market has said your car is worth. The question is, do you want to sell it for that? Because truthfully, if whatever they're offering isn't enough, I'd love to hear where we want to go next, because I'd like to have an auction there. But truthfully, Scottsdale is the top of the heap of the market. Everyone knows that. That's been the barometer-setting event of the entire year for many, many, many years now. So you know that you can bring your car to one of the collector car auctions here in Scottsdale, and you are definitely being offered top dollar for it.
All right, so now you've decided that you're going to sell your car at auction. What are the key steps to getting it ready?
Well, I think one of the keys to selling a car at auction and being successful with doing that at an auction is really choosing the right auction house. Finding one that really caters to your type of vehicle and caters to your types of needs. Some auction houses, specialize more in the higher end cars. Some have their own little niches. I think the great thing about all of the different car auctions here in January is everyone's kind of found their little spot at the table. Russo and Steele, we cater to a broad, wide variety of cars. We'll do everything from $15,000, $20,000 cars all the way upwards into the millions. So we have a little something for everybody. I'm a big believer that little fish grow to be big fish. Just because you're buying a nice little Mustang convertible today doesn't mean you're going to buy a Shelby the next time and then come back
very
for a
few of
Ferrari.
us start off with Ferraris as our first cars.
Very few people will buy Steve McQueen's 275 GTB 4Cam for $22 million as their very first car. So that evolution is always fun to watch. I think our core audience at Russo and Steele are the genuine collectors, the ones that have maybe it's not quite so casual. It's more of the documented, the historical cars, the more collectible cars. So we offer that kind of mid-range market where there's a little bit of something for everybody. I've always marveled at my consignment director, John Bemis. He's always so successful at getting this great broad variety of cars. I love going to my own auction. I love walking through the tents and going, wow, check out that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So it's hard not to get high on your own supply.
And we love watching your energy at the auctions. You certainly have that.
Well, I'm kind of my alter ego at Russo and Steele. I call him my evil twin there on the auction block. Russo and Steele, as you know, that is one of the unique aspects of our auction is that we do our auction in the round, as you know. So the cars are actually ground level, sort of in almost a Coliseum boxing ring pit kind of environment. It's been called everything from Drew's mosh pit to his disco, you name it. But we have a lot of fun with it. And all the seating's elevated going all the way around the block, so everybody's got a great view. And we want to have people come up and touch and enjoy and get close to the cars. I believe collector cars are that sort of visceral, emotional experience. I mean, when I'm buying my cars at auction, I don't want to be sitting in a chair going, may I have your bids, please? I want to be getting excited with my buddies, having a cocktail going, yeah, I just bought that Shelby. Isn't it cool? So that's, I think for me, that excitement and that sort of emotional connection it's certainly what I do collector cars for.
Okay, we talked about selling your car at auction. Okay, so now there's a lot of guys here who are going to come to your auction next week, and some of them are going to bid on cars. So give us the tips. What are the key things in bidding on a car to make sure that you buy the right car at the right price?
Well, that's another great question from a buyer's standpoint of view. At Russo and Steele, we allow cars with reserve. A reserve, of course, is the seller stating the minimum that they'll sell the car for. That's a little bit different than a no-reserve environment where the car is going to be sold at the highest bidder regardless of price. We do offer no reserve as well at Russo and Steele, but it's a little bit different dynamic for the bidder in both places. When you have a no-reserve car on the auction block, you need to engage right away because the minute you jump in the game, the chances are probably good that you're telling the rest of the bidders in the audience, look, I'm going to own the car. I believe that you should bid aggressively. The thing that's interesting about cars with reserve is that a lot of bidders are going to stand around with their hands in their pockets for a while going, well, let's see if the reserve comes off. And you go, bid on the car. I mean, you might be able to get the car for less than the guy has on the reserve in the event that, you actually put your arm in the air, but you have to participate as a bidder. One of the things that I do if I'm buying a car at auction is, again, I bid very aggressively. I bid bam, 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 because I want to send a message.
Gee, what
to
a
the
surprise
guy.
that is.
If you're the other guy bidding on the car, Peter, I want to send a message to you. You know what? I'm going to buy this car. So if it goes 105, bam, 110 to you, 110, 110. Okay, you're hemming and hawing, 115 back to me. Bam, I got it.
Remind me never to bid on a car against you.
I'm going to buy the car. So the more aggressively you bid, you send that message that, listen, I'm going to buy the car and I'm not backing off.
Wonderful. Well, thanks very much, Drew. They're great hints, and we appreciate you being here.
Peter, thanks for having me. Hey, listen, everybody enjoy Motorsports Gathering here this morning. We're looking forward to seeing you out at the Russo and Steele auction. Of course, we're getting started there on the 17th for preview. The 18th through the 21st is the show days. Thursday through Sunday, gates open at 9 a.m. We'll see you at Russo and Steele. Thank you, everyone.
Don't miss the largest concentration of exotic sports cars in the country. Concourse in the Hills on Saturday, February 10th at Fountain Hills Park. A free event benefiting the Phoenix Children's Hospital.